Space and Science News with James. Welcome to our channel. Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered, who am I really? In today's digital age, where technology can alter our identities with just a click, the line between self and other is becoming increasingly blurred. Today, we'll be talking about the fascinating research on morphing facial technology and how it challenges our understanding of self-recognition and identity. But here's the twist: what if I told you that your brain might not even recognize your own face when it's altered? This groundbreaking study reveals shocking insights that could change the way you perceive yourself in the digital world. So, stick around because we're about to uncover the secrets of how our identities are shaped by technology and what it means for our future. Let's dive deep into this subject of identity in the digital age. Facial recognition is a cornerstone of our self-image and social interactions. In today's digital age, we face intriguing questions about identity and communication. How does altering our facial identity affect our sense of self and our interactions with others? Dr. Shunichi Kasahara, a researcher at the Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology's Cybernetic Humanity Studio, is investigating these questions using real-time morphing of facial images. The studio, established in 2023, serves as a joint research platform between OIST and Sony Computer Science Laboratories. Dr. Kasahara and his team have explored the dynamics of face recognition using motor-visual synchrony, the coordination between physical movements and visual feedback. Their groundbreaking research reveals that our sense of agency, or feelings of control, doesn't significantly impact our level of identification with our self-image. These findings, published in scientific reports, challenge our understanding of self-recognition in the digital era. As we delve into Dr. Kasahara's research, we'll uncover fascinating insights about the boundaries of self-recognition and their implications for our increasingly digital world. Dr. Kasahara's team designed psychological experiments to investigate the self-identification boundary using displays and cameras. Participants sat in front of screens showing their faces gradually changing. They were instructed to press a button when they felt the image no longer represented them. The researchers examined how three movement conditions affected the facial boundary: synchronous, asynchronous, and static. In the synchronous condition, the facial movements on screen matched the participants' actual movements. The asynchronous condition displayed movements that didn't align with the participants' actions. The static condition showed non-moving images. The experiment was conducted in both directions, morphing from self to other and from other to self. This bidirectional approach allowed researchers to explore potential differences in self-recognition depending on the starting point of the morphing process. Initially, the team hypothesized that synchronized motions would lead to greater identification with the images. However, their findings revealed a more complex picture. Whether movements were synchronized or not, participants' facial identity boundaries remained surprisingly similar. Interestingly, participants were more likely to identify with static images of themselves than with moving images. This unexpected result suggests that motion might actually interfere with self-recognition in some cases, rather than enhancing it as initially predicted. The direction of morphing also played a crucial role. Participants were more likely to identify with their facial images when these images morphed from self to other, rather than from other to self. This asymmetry in self-recognition provides valuable insights into how we perceive our own identity in relation to others. Dr. Kasahara explains, "It's like watching your face in a mirror as you move it and you identify yourself, but your face slowly changes up to a point and you realize this is no longer you." This analogy helps to illustrate the subtle shift in perception that occurs during the experiment. These findings have significant implications for our understanding of self-recognition in digital environments. They suggest that our ability to judge our facial identity is more robust and less dependent on real-time feedback than previously thought. This resilience in self-recognition could have far-reaching consequences for how we interact with digital representations of ourselves and others in various technological contexts. The results of Dr. Kasahara's research challenge our intuitive understanding of self-recognition and identity in the digital age. One of the most striking findings is that our sense of agency, our subjective feeling of control over our actions, does not significantly impact our ability to judge our facial identity. This suggests a certain robustness in our self-recognition capabilities, even when faced with manipulated or asynchronous visual feedback. Dr. Kasahara draws a parallel to deepfake technology, noting, "Consider the example of deepfakes, which are essentially a form of asynchronous movement. When I remain still but the visual representation moves, it creates an asynchronous situation. Even in these deepfake scenarios, we can still experience a feeling of identity connection with ourselves. This observation raises important questions about how we might perceive and interact with manipulated versions of our digital selves. If we can maintain a sense of identity even when viewing an asynchronous or altered representation of our face, it could have profound implications for our engagement with virtual environments, social media, and other digital platforms. The study also revealed an intriguing asymmetry in self-recognition. Participants were more likely to identify with their facial images when these images morphed from self to other, rather than from other to self. This suggests that our starting point, our initial perception of an image as self or other, plays a crucial role in how we continue to identify with that image as it changes. These findings have significant implications for various fields, including virtual and augmented reality, human-computer interaction, and digital communication. As we increasingly engage with digital avatars and manipulated images, understanding the resilience and limitations of our self-recognition processes becomes crucial. Moreover, this research opens up new avenues for exploring the malleability of identity in digital spaces. If our sense of self is more flexible than previously thought, it could influence how we design and interact with digital environments, potentially allowing for more immersive and personalized experiences. Dr. Kasahara emphasizes that these results raise important questions about our perception of self and identity in the digital age. As technology continues to advance, offering ever more sophisticated ways to alter and manipulate our digital representations, our understanding of identity may need to evolve alongside it. This research not only sheds light on the cognitive processes underlying self-recognition but also prompts us to reconsider our relationship with our digital selves and how we navigate an increasingly virtual world. Building on his initial findings, Dr. Kasahara collaborated with Dr. Wunwon, a psychology professor at Rikyo University specializing in agency research, to investigate the inverse relationship, how our sense of identity impacts our perception of control. In this study, participants observed either their own face or another person's face on a screen and could interact with and control the facial and head movements. They were asked to observe the screen for about 20 seconds while moving their faces and changing their expressions. The motion of the face was controlled either solely by their own movements or by an average of the participants and the experimenters' motions, creating conditions of full control and partial control. After the observation period, participants were asked two crucial questions: how much did you feel that this face looks like you, and how much control did you feel over this presented face? These questions aim to quantify the participants' sense of identity and agency in relation to the face they were controlling. The results were surprising and challenged previous assumptions about self-recognition and agency. Participants reported a higher sense of agency over the other face rather than their own face. This finding contradicts the intuitive expectation that seeing and controlling one's own face would naturally lead to a greater sense of control. Dr. Kasahara explains, based on previous research, one might expect that if I see my own face, I will feel more control over it. Conversely, if it's not my face, I might expect to feel less control because it's someone else's face. That's the intuitive expectation. However, the results are the opposite. When people see their own face, they report a lower sense of agency. Conversely, when they see another person's face, they're more likely to feel a sense of agency. Additionally, controlling someone else's face resulted in a greater variety of facial movements than controlling one's own face. This suggests that participants felt more freedom to explore and experiment when manipulating a face that wasn't their own, possibly due to reduced self-consciousness or social inhibitions. These findings have significant implications for our understanding of identity and agency in digital environments. They suggest that our relationship with our digital representations might be more complex than previously thought, with potential implications for fields such as virtual reality, social media, and human-computer interaction. Dr. Kasahara emphasizes that this research helps us update our understanding of the self in relation to human-computer integration technology. As we continue to develop technologies that allow us to manipulate and control digital representations of ourselves and others, understanding these psychological dynamics becomes increasingly important. As we wrap up this mind-bending journey into the world of digital identity, it's clear that Dr. Kasahara's research is just the tip of the iceberg. We're standing on the brink of a new era where our digital selves are becoming as complex and nuanced as our physical ones. Think about it: every time you use a face filter, create an avatar, or interact in virtual reality, you're shaping your digital identity. And as we've learned today, your brain might be processing these experiences in ways you never imagined. So, what does this mean for you? Well, the next time you're scrolling through social media or diving into a virtual world, take a moment to consider how it's affecting your sense of self. Are you feeling more connected to your digital avatar? Do you feel a stronger sense of control when manipulating someone else's face? These are the questions that will shape our future interactions with technology. And trust me, you'll want to be part of this conversation as it unfolds. If you found this video as fascinating as we did making it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We'll be diving into more mind-blowing research like this in the future, and you won't want to miss it. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on digital identity. How do you think it's affecting you? We'd love to hear your perspective. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the digital world, you might be more, or less, yourself than you think. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, share and click that notification bell so you never miss out. See you next week.